that because people do not trust themselves enough. And it was the great philosopher Pythagoras who said, when I come across those who I share with, I call them brother and sister. When I come across those that teach me, I call them mother and father. And when I come across those that I impart wisdom, I call them son and daughter. And at any moment, the person with you can be your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your son or daughter. So we're learning all the time. But Deborah is so true. People have lost the ability to trust themselves and the guidance that comes through them because they feel others aren't going to accept it. So yes, thank you. Trust is very, very important.
And I also feel that we have multiple purposes. I mean, one of my purposes was as I was a mother. One of my purposes is I am a wife. I'm caretaker of the library. So we have many purposes. I do feel, though, that we have a divine purpose as well, an ultimate purpose that we grow into. And so be it, and like you said, that we just take it little by little. And we will ultimately find our purpose as we grow and our awareness and consciousness expands. We'll find it. When we get rid of all the blockages and things that keep us from it. Yeah, that helps.
Hi, my name is Senka Caro. I'm founder of LightNet, and my passion and purpose is to make the impossible possible. I am here today with two incredible people, Stephen Ross and Deborah Cambio. They are the founders and guardians of the World Research Foundation. This is an astounding collection of books that have never been in the same place. It's over 30,000 books dating back from the 1400s on everything from subtle energy to health to philosophy. Now, all of these books, there's over 300 books just on color therapy alone. When we visited, Stephen said, look, we invent all these new gizmos and machines, but a lot of the research has already been done and lost over time or obfuscated. So this is truly a treasure, and it's an honor to have them joining the Purpose Lab because this is such an incredible purpose. And you'll find out how they are guided as they put this all together.
I've discovered my purpose over the last several years by guidance coming actually from the spiritual world and in my dreams. I had often dreams that were very, very specific, including being in a library, strangely enough, as you see in the background. And as a result of that dream, I found a passion for gathering information. And for me, it was very, very easy compared to most people I've met over time who are searching. I believe it happened because I just listened. Even though it was a dream, I just followed that dream.
I discovered my purpose to be a facilitator of individuals to help them, empower them to release wounds or conditions, anything that keeps them blocked from reaching their fullest potential and purpose. And I do that by helping them identify and acknowledge these issues. And then through various tools, I help them to release it. The road that led me to that realization of being a facilitator was I started out as a massage therapist. And as I was massaging in resort spas, I would hear voices from spirits for the person on the table. And in the beginning, I knew it wasn't me, so I would have this little banter in my head going, I can't tell the person that. And then I decided, no, who am I not to tell the person what this spirit is coming in to give them a message? And when I started to do that, I realized that the people that were receiving the information were so grateful. I mean, some of them broke down crying. They were so happy to hear from the person that had passed on and give them a message. So that started me with the unfolding of what I do today. Well, the purpose of being the guardian of the library came when Stephen and I got married, and it was a whole new world for me in this living. I did discover that we've had past lives where we've had the library before. So that was kind of interesting to me, because a lot of people say, do you live in the library? Do you just stay in there and read? And I have to say, no, I don't. But what does happen is when I'm ready, the books jump out at me. And then there's a purpose and a timing for me to gather the information. So caretaking the library is a privilege and an honor, and it's an amazing place to have actually in my home, our home.
I think the biggest challenge in living my purpose is there's not enough hours in the day. So I find myself involved in various projects. The biggest project for me is to preserve the writings of the great women and men of history. And what I would like to do is, who inspired them? And then who inspired the one who inspired them? And what starts as one shelf in a bookcase ends up to be 56 bookcases, because the inspiration can come from many, many different areas. So I know people wonder if it's difficult what I do, and I know my answer is very simplistic about hours, but truly that is the answer. The time passes. There really is no time in this library, because it just completely shoots by the great women and men. Now, I designate or separate wisdom and knowledge. Knowledge is an accumulation of facts. Wisdom is a higher standard. It's more absolute truths. And so I find myself looking at both of those while I'm in the library, and then I'm lost. So that's my challenge.
Being asked what my challenge has been living my purpose is, I guess, reaching more individuals. I have recently decided to make a website. Before that, it was word of mouth. And I just trusted that whoever was to come was to come. And now I want to reach out further to more people. And I don't know if I find it challenging, but it's just a new endeavor that I want to spread it bigger now, and not just have just one a month or so like that. So that would be my challenge. The effect I've had by living my purpose on those around me. I started with my children. When I was learning everything that I have now in my toolbox, I practiced on my children growing up. I had a book called You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. And any little thing, that was my first book. Any little thing, my child, oh, you fell and scraped your knee? Oh, let me look at the book. And they would go, oh, she's getting the book. And then now they call me, Mom, can you get the book out and see what this means? So I just have had such a gratitude for helping people release what no longer serves them, and to actually see them just melt in front of my eyes when it's released, and that they can move forward now and be unrestricted in what was holding them back. So that is such a gift.
I would hope that the effect I've had on people is I've helped them with their sense of humor, that I've made life fun for them, that I've assisted them in their journey, whatever it may be. And my basic philosophy I term as LEFL, L-E-F-L, laughter, excitement, fun, and love. So when I come and meet people, I check their levelometer. When was the last time you laughed? And when someone says to me, laugh, I don't remember, I recognize that they need more humor. So the effect that I hope I've had in everybody who's crossed my path is they feel a little bit lighter in their step in life, that they're going to have more fun, and love is now incorporated within their sphere. We often have visitors to our library, And people normally can only take 5 steps before they become a deer in headlights. They just stop. People are not used to having to go into an individual's home and finding a place of wisdom and knowledge like this. And we like to think, or I like to share this with people. It isn't always about how much you've read. It is how you're navigating life. Are you creating groundswells? Are you creating and planting flowers? How is the life going? Because life and what you are facing regarding challenges really bespeaks of what you're going through internally. And so I think that as people enter a facility like this and they realize every one of these people didn't start off with a Mary Poppins type existence. They've written about their journey. And there are so many journeys in this library. And we try to encourage people that their journey is unique. They're going to be another member of this fraternity of humans who have incarnated on this planet.
What advice I give to people is I've learned through experience, through working with people and my own life, that when we hang on to emotions long enough, they will manifest into the physical level and create a dis-ease or disease. And then they're focusing on how to get rid of that disease. Normally they're looking outside. Typically they're looking outside of themselves. And I help them look inside themselves to clear that. And then they're able to really look within and start trusting their inner selves and releasing what no longer serves and can be healing themselves to then create a space for them to reach a purpose and potential.
I'm often asked, how do I find my purpose in life? And my answer is just to relax and recognize one's purpose in life is to live their life. To live their life, to look at the opportunities, the creative opportunities to grow. Too often people, in a baseball analogy, people think, oh, I've got to hit a home run. Most of the home run hitters strike out very, very often. The singles, the doubles, the little things one does in life, is it possible that that is really our purpose? The spiritual world, and I have depended a lot on spiritual contact internally, the spirits say, when one reviews their life, it isn't about some major activity that we have been conditioned on this earth plane to believe that makes you a success. It is every individual that you have touched. How have you made their life different? And so is it possible that the passion of just living one's life as it's coming to them is the real secret, and not trying to stretch or satisfy what other people feel one should do, or we build up in our mind, oh, the world's only going to find me a success if I, achieve this. Now, with the very wealthy people I've met, they just keep thinking, if I just had $1 million, if I just had 5 million, 10 million, a billionaire. When people keep striving after those outside accomplishments that the world thinks is good, there's never enough. But the satisfaction within of doing something beautiful, loving, or right, that should really be the focus of one's life.
And don't you feel that people have to trust where they are
Absolutely.
to reach their purpose?
And I've learned a lot from Deborah in regards to that, because you don't always get it from books. She's a perfect example of it's the interaction. And I'm glad you brought that up, because people do not trust themselves enough. And it was the great philosopher Pythagoras who said, when I come across those who I share with, I call them brother and sister. When I come across those that teach me, I call them mother and father. And when I come across those that I impart wisdom, I call them son and daughter. And at any moment, the person with you can be your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your son or daughter. So we're learning all the time. But Deborah is so true. People have lost the ability to trust themselves and the guidance that comes through them because they feel others aren't going to accept it. So yes, thank you. Trust is very, very important.
And I also feel that we have multiple purposes. I mean, one of my purposes was as I was a mother. One of my purposes is I am a wife. I'm caretaker of the library. So we have many purposes. I do feel, though, that we have a divine purpose as well, an ultimate purpose that we grow into. And so be it, and like you said, that we just take it little by little. And we will ultimately find our purpose as we grow and our awareness and consciousness expands, we'll find it. When we get rid of all the blockages and things that keep us from it. Yeah, that helps.
I've often shared in lectures and presentations that I've been guided through my dreams. And although some of them take a little bit of time to explain, if people are interested, I will share the very, very first dream that I had. And that was, I was guided by a spirit that all my future guidance would come in my dreams. I was 23 years old. I was very excited. I was so excited to have a dream that I went 1 week without sleeping because I kept thinking, I'm going to go to sleep, I'm going to have a dream. Well, after 1 week being completely exhausted, I had the following dream. I heard a voice I recognized, an athletic friend from 3 years previously, say, "What kind of animal is Steve?" And a picture book opened of animals, and a finger pointed to a particular animal. Now, before I share what that animal was, I was a little disheartened. I couldn't believe that this voice of my friend even said this, but I decided I was going to call him up. So I called him up. His name was Bob, and I said, "Bob, is there anything bothering you about me?" And he goes, "What?" Second time, "Is there anything bothering you about me?" "No." "Something possessed me." I asked the third time. He said, "What? Are you sick? What's your problem?" I said, "I want to be a better person." I don't even know why I said that. And he said, "There is something that's bothered me. My throat, I was so overcome." He goes, "Do you remember what you did to our teammate Harold? We played on a 6-man volleyball team." I said, "No." He said, "Everybody looked up to you because you were an all-American player. And when Harold would come in and make a mistake, you didn't say anything, but you kind of glared at him." Now, my friend Bob, he's continuing. "After the tournament, Harold and I would go out for pizza, and he would throw up because he couldn't win your approval. I thought you were a real hog." What was the picture book? It was a hog. He never had said a word to me about that. It was my dream in my bedroom. And after he hung up and told me, I cried. And then after that, I had 5 and 6 dreams a night for the next 3 months on every phase of my personality, likes, dislikes, just a review from spirit, dream after dream. And then came phone numbers, just a phone number. And with that phone number, I would call and someone would answer, "We're waiting for you. We have something we want you to caretake." And so that has been my journey. And of course, the premier dream, I was in a library, a line of people, and at the front is a podium with this man with white hair looking down. And I come and I go, "Yes." And the man says, "We now would like you to study Paracelsus, Pythag, whatever name." And then I would go out and seek all the information on what I was given. I believe very strongly. Now, people say, my dreams are silly. I can't remember them. Well, I didn't either. My dreams were silly, but I put a legal pad next to my bed. And whatever came through, I was saying to spirit, to my higher self, I am interested in your guidance. And that's what I believe. What's the secret? Maybe the producers of this should go to Nike, because I'm going to say, just do it. Why at 23 did I call and virtually embarrass myself with another man saying, hey, do you like me? Is there a problem? You just do it.
What about the Sophia dream?
Yes.
Because that's led you on a whole...
Yes, that's opened up in a much bigger... right before a lecture, actually the lecture where I met my beautiful Deborah, I had a dream. I was walking along the ocean with all the seekers of the world, all walking together. And in the distance, I saw a figure, a woman dressed in blue, holding a microphone. And as we got closer, she was covered up in a smoke or a fog. To my right, to her left, were horseshoe stands with all the people who have written self-help books, and they have courses and 6-level courses and seminars. And I'm not saying what's coming out was wrong, but it was slightly covering who I recognized was Sophia, the goddess of wisdom. And I thought to myself for 1 second, if these people are covering absolute truth, what are seekers supposed to do? And a big wind blew off the ocean. And this is an actual dream. And I heard the following: all one needs for greater enlightenment is a beautiful heart, an open mind, and a humble spirit. And you will reach enlightenment. And that dream led me to even further opening up, where I have since developed a philosophy of a beautiful heart, an open mind, and a humble spirit. And my very wise Deborah said, well, that's the lifestyle. But people are going to ask how you do it. You do it with love, in love, and through love.
The world, if you were living your purpose, if everyone was living their purpose, it would be an incredible world. I don't believe there would be any jealousy or competition. Everyone would know, this is what I came here to be. This is what I came here to do. And then we would work harmoniously, and you would be in balance, and you would be feeling self-confident, and you would have all these virtues that would just make the planet like a machine, that everybody would be working together in a unified way.
I've often wondered and been asked, what could this world be like if people are living their purpose? And I view it like this. I think fundamentally we have to look at, why are we here? What is the purpose that human beings leave the spiritual realm and incarnate in this planet? And I believe it's very obvious that it has to do with interacting with people. So the purpose, if people live the purpose of recognizing each person that crosses our path, that gets our awareness, and we're interacting, there is a reason why we are interacting with all the other people, not only in our sphere, but on the planet. And if we look at that, I'm not saying you have to be your brother's keeper, but what I am saying is how we interact with the individuals. And for those who understand karma, they would realize that there is very good reasons why the person who is making us happy or stuck in our face is there for a reason. And the purpose should be, let's figure out internally how I can interact in a loving way with this person. So if everyone understood the purpose, as other people, I believe we would have a much more harmonious, beautiful, and loving world.